Excuse me, sir, where are we?
You don't recognize me, do you? I'm not surprised. You really slacked off on this essay.
You're John Dewey.
That's right.
Well, this is awkward. Hey, do you think you can teach me some stuff about, well, I guess you?
You've come to the right person. I'd be honored.
Okay, wow, where to begin?
I don't believe in taking notes, so how about I take you through my life?
You could do that?
Sure I can. Follow me. I was born in Burlington, Vermont on October 20th, 1859, and I graduated from the University of Vermont in 1879. Then, shortly after that, I went on to Johns Hopkins University and graduated in 1884. After that, I became a psychology and a philosophy professor at the University of Michigan, after receiving both a bachelor's and a doctorate degree. In 1894, I left Michigan and joined the Department of Philosophy at the University of Chicago, where I became focused on my legal viewpoints. Finally, I moved to the University of Columbia, where I became a well-known professor and retired in 1930. After my retirement, I developed pneumonia and died on June 1st, 1952 in New York.
Died? Is this heaven?
No. We're in your dream.
Oh, thank goodness.
I've come to you to help you with your essay, so if I were you, I'd pay attention.
Yeah, got it.
Where was I? I remember. I was just about to talk on my legal viewpoints. Well, first of all, it's important that you know I didn't become famous for no reason. I'm well known for my role in the development of progressive education. Progressive education is the educational view that highlights the need for learning through doing. I concluded that philosophy had become an over-technical and theoretical science, discontinued from the evaluation of the social conditions and the ideas that govern everyday life. I argued that humans benefit better from a more hands-on method, and from this viewpoint, we can classify me in the educational theory of pragmatism. Pragmatists believe that in order to understand and learn about reality, human beings must have the experience to be fully understood. I assumed that students had to be able to interact with their environment in order to understand, and I believe that teachers and students have to adapt to each other in order to be able to learn together. My vision of the classroom was based on my democratic values, as I advocate for a fair platform within all schools, giving both students and teachers equal amounts of respect and voice.
Wow, I wish you could come talk to the head of education.
Me too. Hey, maybe if you could truly understand my message and views on educations, you'll know how to advocate for student life.
I'd love that, although I'm a pretty light sleeper, so we better get to it.
What else do you want to know?
What are the strengths of your philosophy?
I am one of the greatest philosophers who has shaped educational philosophy to this date. I changed the fundamental approaches to teaching and learning by becoming one of the first to acknowledge that each student and person had their own set of learning skills, and by recognizing these skills, I transformed the classroom into a place where students can find connections from their work to their real life. Unlike earlier forms of teaching that were based on authoritarianism, my method kept each student engaged in their lesson by forming a connection between the student and the schooling. My philosophy of the hands-on learning method shaped post-secondary education today. For example, college is based on progressive education. It is education that provides the hands-on experience that students need to be able to apply their understanding into compelling experiences. I also vowed for there to be cultural changes in the classroom. Each teacher could provide a balance between cultural opinions and scientific facts that the classroom would become more responsive.
Wow, I'm impressed. Although I was thinking, what about students with physical or mental disabilities? They may not be able to perform these types of experiments. And also, is it possible that our education system teaches structure and order, and the lack thereof could harm society? Come to think of it, the authority figures present in a school may no longer have control, and students may lose respect for higher powers in general, like police, for example.
You do make very good points. However, the fear of the unknown and this mere speculation is what is holding society back from true progress. We stick to norms and structure because it makes us comfortable, but in order to grow, we must try new things.
Oh no.
What's wrong?
I think I'm waking up.
It's okay. Now that you have the knowledge, you'll be fine.
Okay, you're right. Thank you for everything.
No problem, kid. Good luck.
It's 6 p.m. already? I really need to get started. Okay, let's see. How would your philosopher define the concept of justice? Now that's an easy one. John Dewey would define the concept of justice based on equality as opposed to equity. You see, Dewey concluded his theory surrounding the notion that students will all receive equal treatment regardless of any existing factors. Let's say, for example, a mental disability. But today, we make accommodations based on equity, where students with ILPs and IEPs are given criteria and standards that fit their individual needs. I think that Dewey may have said individuals do not need to receive equitable treatment. Dewey was a firm believer in a utopian. His optimism stemmed from his conclusions regarding humankind. Dewey said every individual has purpose and matters. Essentially, once one's talents are revealed and evolve, they can offer their own set of positive contributions. So, I suppose that he would see no need for equity, as fostering a different stream of learning simply calls for equality. Now that was close.
I wanted to let you know that I really liked your essay. Although I was thinking, what do you think John Dewey would say about what's going on in our world with all the controversial issues?
Well, I think he would definitely have a problem with standardized testing. For instance, EQAO causes competition among students, institutions, school boards, etc. This creates a diversion from the ultimate purpose of education, which is student success. Dewey may argue that standardized tests such as OSSLT or EQAO only includes knowledge from particular domains, like reading, writing, or math, and this excludes some of the most critical areas, like creativity or team building, ambition, so on. So Dewey may conclude that this method of education can be detrimental to a child's mental health and cognitive development.
I'm very impressed. Your essay got an A.